Greetings and welcome to the channel. I'm Eddie Set Go, and in this video we're doing an end of year festive update of riding the 2021 Yamaha MT09 SP. And because we are in the deepest, darkest depths of December, approaching the holiday season, I will be sprinkling a few festive Christmas movie quiz questions into this video. So stick around, let's go. So welcome to the video. Yes, it is the deepest, darkest depths of December. We've got very limited lights to work with to record videos at the moment, so I've chosen to do this on a lunchtime. We're nipping out in the cold. I'm still riding the 09 through into December. I'm actually recording this video on Christmas week, so we really are only a few days away from the start of the holiday season. You might be asking why I'm riding the bike in December like this. You can see just on the temperature gauge there, it's showing 1 degree Celsius. It wasn't that cold this morning. It's actually, the temperature has dropped today, but I'm still riding the 09. I'm still loving riding the 09. It does bring my commute time down from about 50 minutes in the car down to literally 15 minutes. So there is a whole load of advantage of still riding the bike. And what I'm finding riding through these kind of very quite treacherous conditions, really, we haven't had any snow or real ice here in the UK so far, but the roads, as you can see, are very covered in moisture, damp. There's obviously a lot of salting going on as well, so the roads are pretty much lined with lots of substances and fluids, and it really does keep you on your toes. But I'm not having any problems. I'm not feeling unsure about taking the 09 out in these conditions at the moment, and that's mainly because obviously the suspension I'm feeling on the 09 is starting to soften up a bit as I've been riding it more and more through the months. So that initial firmness of the 09, once you get the bike from new, it's actually starting to soften up a little bit, which is quite nice. But also the actual godsend of this bike, which I've discovered riding in December like this, the thing that's really making this an easy bike to ride is that Power Mode 4. I just want to quickly talk about the Power Mode 4 setting on the 09. I'm just going to turn around here and go back the other way because I do need to get some gas. But yes, the 09 obviously comes with 4 power modes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 is obviously the weakest of the modes. It really restricts the power, and compared to modes 1, 2, and 3, it is worlds apart in difference. If you just jump on the bike straight away, you've never ridden it before, and you use power modes 1, 2, and 3, they feel very similar. And I think that only unless you're taking it out on perhaps a racetrack, you'll really start to see the actual differences between those top 3 modes. But the moment you put this thing into mode 4, which we're currently in now, it's almost like it halves the power output. You really have to wring the neck of the bike in order to get it going. And what that means is obviously it's very easy to ride. There's no sudden jolts or jerks. The power delivery is super smooth. I think I'm going to compare the power delivery to that perhaps of an MT07 or even a Trident. Really is that kind of level. We're going down to kind of the more middle of the pack, entry level naked bike, where the power delivery is still fun and exciting, especially when you get the engine going, you really rev it up. But in Power Mode 4, it really does make a massive difference to this bike. I know a few of you have asked about this being a first bike. Would it be a good first bike? I think if you were self-disciplined enough to do so and used it in Mode 4, you could probably use this as a first bike. But again, it's so easy to flick this into Mode 3 and 2 and 1 and unleash the fury. But I'm absolutely loving riding this bike at the moment. It is cold. I wish I had some heated grips. Perhaps next year I'll get some heated grips, but Mode 4 really has changed the personality of this bike. It makes it safe, the riding position is upright, and so riding in these kind of conditions, I don't feel uneasy. I don't feel afraid jumping on the bike in these kind of conditions. Obviously when the ice comes, the snow comes, the bike's going to go away for the winter. In fact, this could be my very last ride of 2021. But for now, yeah, Power Mode 4, it's been an absolute godsend in making this bike very easy to ride in these conditions. Here is the first movie quote question. I'll give you a quote from a film, a Christmas film, as we are approaching Christmas. And so, name the movie that this quote is from. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, except for the 4 guys coming in the rear in standard 2x2 formation. So that's the quote. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, except for the 4 guys coming in the rear in standard 2x2 formation. Name that movie. Drop a comment below. Get involved. Yes, I've had a couple of questions on Instagram. Yes, I am on Instagram. There is a link below in the description to my Instagram page. If you're all about the gram, you can connect with me and say hello, and we can connect. But yes, I had a question on Instagram from a chap who was upgrading from a 675 Triumph Street Triple, and he was looking at a 765, but also considering the MT09. And the idea for using, for getting a bigger bike was to do more riding, more touring throughout the year. I can say, after riding this bike in these conditions throughout the very cold months, I did reply to him and said, look, if you're comfortable with the Street Triple, it is quite a firm, sporty ride. But having ridden the 09 in these kind of iffy conditions, I would recommend going for the 09 purely because you're more upright, the suspension is softer, and I think the power modes are more user-friendly, especially number 4. So if you are considering a sports naked to ride throughout the year, this would be a great option for you. So in terms of everything else on the 09, it's all going absolutely buttery smooth. I've had no problems with gear changes. I'm obviously going much more easier on the bike in these colder conditions. So I'm not using the downshifts on the quick shifter as much. I'm being really smooth and using the clutch a lot more just to make things nice and progressive and smooth. I'm using a lot of back brake at the moment while slowing down, just so I'm not putting too much load on the front wheel and causing a slip. Which brings us to the next question, the next movie quote question. Name the movie that this quote is from. The quote is this: where are you going to put a tree that big? Why don't you bend over and I'll show you. That's the quote. What Christmas film is that from? The quote is, hey, where are you going to put a tree that big? Why don't you bend over and I'll show you. Name that movie. Drop a comment below, let us know. So one of the other observations I've had about the 09, especially riding in these colder months, has been the tyres. The tyres on the 09 are Bridgestone Battle Axe S22s, which are fantastic tyres in obviously the dry, the warmth, beautiful crisp tarmac. But in these kind of conditions, yeah, I've had a couple of moments. So it doesn't make me uneasy or anything. I've said this is a very easy bike to ride even in these conditions, but I certainly would consider, if I was continuing riding throughout the winter, I would consider perhaps putting some different tyres on. The S22s are fantastic tyres to ride, especially in the dry. But in these conditions, I've had a couple of moments just riding over a few manhole covers, some white painted lines that have got some moisture on, and the bike has slipped slightly. The traction control kind of kicks in on the rear wheel just on occasion. So if I was to continue riding the bike through the winter, I would perhaps fit maybe some Michelin Road 5s. I've had some really good experiences riding those tyres. They really are great all-weather, all-season tyres with lots of cuts and slits on the tread to aid traction. But the S22s are great. I'm not really worried or concerned about riding the bike, but I've just noticed a couple of times they have lost a little bit of traction, and I would probably fit a more all-season tyre. And the Road 5, the Michelin Road 5s really are good tyres. I had them on my Tracer 700 and they were awesome. Which brings us to the final question of this festive quiz. Name the movie quote. And the movie quote is this: so, good news, I saw a dog today. I'll say it again. So, good news, I saw a dog today. What Christmas film, what famous Christmas film is that from? Drop a comment below. By the way, all of the answers to this quiz will be in the bottom of the description. So if you do not know which movies they're from, then look in the bottom of the description. You'll see all the answers there. There's no prize for winning this. It's just all about getting involved and having a bit of festive fun. I think it's time to get some gasoline and perhaps give the bike a bit of a wash, because she is a bit a bit dirty, bless her. Like I said, there's lots of salt and dirt on the roads at this time of year. But the 09 has been fabulous in, every morning getting up and going to the office. So before I end this quick update video, I would like to give a huge shout out to everyone who has supported the channel, supported me throughout the past year in 2021. Honestly, your comments and your support and new subscriptions, all of that to the channel has really helped keep me going during this very topsy-turvy few years. So I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. It's been a crazy year. I've ridden lots of cool, awesome bikes. I've ridden probably half the amount of bikes I would have liked to have ride, but I've had some great discussions with new manufacturers, so hopefully I can bring more bikes to you in 2022. So I hope you have a fantastic holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, and a fantastic New Year going into 2022. I've been Eddie Set Go. I hope you ride safe, stay safe. I'll see you next time.